Russia is bringing back the traditions of the past, along with the revival of Soviet repressive practices. A new wave of Jewish pogroms began in various parts of the country. Anti-Semitism in Russia is drastically growing every day. For example, on the 10th of October, a woman from Moscow marked a Jewish cafe with a Star of David. And on the 28th of October in Cherkassk, 500,000 people went on protest, demanding that the authorities of the republic evict all Jews from the region. Meanwhile, in Nalchik, the capital of Kabardino-Balkaria, vandals set fire to an unfinished Jewish cultural center. According to historians, anti-Semitism was a tradition in the Russian Empire and then in the Soviet Union, and it was often initiated by the authorities themselves.
The pro-monarchist organizations of the beginning of the 20th century were particularly prejudiced against the Jewish population. This even led to mass pogroms committed by these very Black Hundreds, who opposed the Jews, trying to blame them for the policies of the state itself. And we can say that, considering today's events in Russia, the phenomenon of anti-Semitism is always reinforced and supported by the state itself.
In the evening of October 29th, about 2,000 people seized the airport building in Makhachkala. They wanted to find Israeli people who, according to rumors, were on the landed plane. The crowd broke into the runway and tried to enter the plane from the wing of the aircraft. Rioters looted duty-free shops and surrendered an Uzbekistan citizen, demanding proof that he was not Jewish. As it turned out later, passengers from Israel were on a bus that tried to get away from the crowd on a runway. However, it was stopped and several people were beaten.
There were children screaming inside the bus. One girl was injured by a piece of glass that hit her. There were very few policemen and they did nothing. At some point, the crowd managed to stop the bus. They got inside, went from person to person and asked them if they were Muslims or Jews. I said I was Muslim because I was scared. Fortunately, they believed me and went on their way. Shmuel, Jerusalem resident, passenger on the Tel Aviv Makhachkala flight, in a comment to Ynet.
As a result of the pogrom, 20 people were injured, including 4 policemen who were stoned by Russians. The seizure of the international airport building, the pogrom and violence are not considered terrorism by local authorities and law enforcement agencies. In official reports, they call it an incident, an infiltration of unknown people. And the press service of the main department of the Russian Interior Ministry said that a criminal case had been opened under the article of organizing mass riots. Analysts compared the Dagestan airport pogrom with the Prigozhin's riot in June. In both cases, a group of thousands of people committed serious crimes with the full connivance of the authorities. The pogrom in Dagestan is not a single case, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said. The head of the state recalled that Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov had made a number of anti-Semitic statements over the past year. The Russian president also insulted Jewish people in the same tone.
This is not a single incident in Makhachkala. It is part of a widespread culture of hatred towards other people in Russia, which is propagated by state television experts and the authorities. Russian anti-Semitism and hatred of other nations is systemic and deeply rooted. Hatred leads to aggression and terror. We must work together to confront this hatred. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine, in social network X, formerly Twitter.
According to a report by the Institute of the Study of War, anti-Semitic actions in Dagestan and other regions of the northern Caucasus emphasize the intensification of inner ethnic and inner religious tensions in Russia. Analysts believe the Kremlin will have a hard time convincing Russians as well as Jewish audience that the situation is under control and that Jewish minorities in the Federation are safe. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Danila Kobza, UATV News.